Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I was reading through comments to pick something to talk about over here on this channel, and there were comments that were left on videos like from days ago, and I had screenshot a lot of them, and so when I saw this comment come up, I was like, oh, they asked me to make a video about this, and this is actually a really good topic to talk about. It's something that I still struggle with as well. So let me read the comment to you. The comment is, I need a video about how to let things go and not take things personally. I eat myself alive replaying and rethinking the dumbest things. Like if someone was rude to me at work or out in public, I can't let it go. And I think it's such a great topic for a video. I think it's just such a great topic to have with a friend or anybody in life about the inability to let things go. You know, it's something that I work on just such a regular basis. And in fact, you know, I said in a video the other day, I think it was my vlog last night, that I had made this decision that I want to really only focus on the positive going forward and stuff like that. And I really struggle with that. You know, it's something that I say I'm going to do, and then I fall back into it and I become consumed with it and whatever. When there's so much positivity and love out there, I have also said in a lot of videos, you know, that I can, you know, there can be 100 people in the room and 99 people can be saying really nice things to me, and the one person that says something rude or mean to me is the one thing that I'm going to fixate on. I've always been like that, you know. I don't know where it really comes from, you know. I've talked a lot about my mom's addiction on many of my channels and growing up, you know, in an environment of active alcoholism. That being said, I've also shared that, my mom did her best. And, most days and most nights were, fantastic, Little House on the Prairie, whatever. I grew up in a family, not just my mom, but my dad, my stepmother, my aunt, my uncle, my grandparents, and things like that. I grew up in my cousin Caroline, in an environment of love. I mean, I heard the words, I love you all the time. You know, people were very loving and kind to me. I mean, I never heard nasty meanness when I was growing up and things like that. And so I was surrounded by all that. Now, when I would go to school, I was constantly bullied and put down, and people were saying really cruel things to me. And I think that, you know, from a young age, it didn't, well, hi, Boo Radley. It didn't really make sense to me, you know? It didn't really make sense to me why people would say these things to me. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand at 5 or 6 years old what I had done to deserve these things. I didn't understand. It didn't make any sense to me, you know? And so I think I fixated at some point on, you know, if I could get this person to like me and I could change their opinion, then maybe I could, this mean thing they said to me wouldn't be true. And I think what it really was that I fed into those people and what they said to me, and I started to believe it to some degree. You know, it's like in the movie Pretty Woman, they're laying there and he says, "You're so beautiful," and she says, "The bad stuff is easier to believe. When somebody tells you something long enough, you start to believe it." I think I started to believe the lie. I think I started to believe over a long period of time the things that people said to me, and it was really hard and took many years for me to unlearn that. And actually, I'm still unlearning it, you know? And I too am somebody that I can be out and somebody can say something mean to me, or somebody can say something rude to me, or, you know, online or in my personal life or whatever, and I kind of fixate on it. You know, I have to I've mentioned several times in my videos how, I have this toolbox, right, of ways to deal with things, like gratitude lists and focusing on gratitude and living out of gratitude. I don't just wake up and I'm, in this great mood every single day and I have this great attitude about life and I'm oh, I'm so thankful for that. I mean, that's not typically how I wake up most days, right? Most days I have to dig into my toolbox and I have to work hard on things, right? That being said, I also have things that people have said to me and experiences that I've gone through the years that have helped me not fixate on when somebody says something mean to me or, you know, whatever, and focus on the positive. And I think the overwhelming thing is I remember standing over my mother when she passed away. And, you know, after she was gone and it was just, you know, everybody left the room and it was just me and my mom in the room, I thought there was going to be this moment, right, with trumpets blaring and you know, this I don't know why, I always just kind of have this idea that in that, that moment would feel so much greater and more intense and more profound than it actually did. You know, she was there and then she was gone. You know, she was there and then she wasn't. And that was what happened. And I didn't really know how to make sense of it at the time. But what I did know and what I was able to make sense of is that, very much like Charlotte's Web, you know, like what she says to Wilbur in the movie is that, you know, we're born, we live, we die. And what we put in the middle of it, you know, it's a cycle of life. We're born, we live, we die. And what we put in the middle of it is ours. I don't really want to spend the last moments of my life fixated on the cruel things that people have said to me, or the mean things, or the incorrect things, or the lies, or their distorted views of me, or rude comments that people make to me. I don't want to spend my last moments of life doing that. And therefore, if I don't want to spend the last moments of my life doing that, I don't want to spend any of my life doing that. But that's a hard thing to do. You know, I've had moments where I've like scripted out entire conversations that I'm going to have and what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do, only to never have that conversation, you know, only to just never. And so there are certain things in my head, in my toolbox, that I have in there. And one of those toolboxes, what do you want your last 5 minutes to look like? I don't want my last 5 minutes to look like fixated on somebody out there that don't like me. It just, or doesn't like me. It doesn't matter. And what other people say about me is none of my business, right? It's just one person's opinion. It's just one person's thought about me. I can't change that, you know? And what I've learned over years is that most people that don't like me, I'm not going to be able to ever change that. There are some people out there that I don't like, and that's okay. That's how the world works. If somebody says a rude comment to you, chances are you're never going to cross their path again for them to say, I'm sorry. And if they did, you've already lost so much time on it. That's what I do in that moment, or I try to, right? Like, am I losing time? What am I exchanging for this? What am I giving away by being fixated on the fact that this person said something rude to me that I'm never going to see again, or that I don't even know this person, right? Or that they distorted my words, or they took my words, and why am I giving that time? Why am I giving that energy? What's the point of all of that, right? And so I totally understand what you're saying, because I've spent so much of my life like that, you know? I've spent my life 20 years ago scripting conversations I was going to have with somebody because they said one thing to me that kind of hurt my feelings. And really all I need to say to them is, you hurt my feelings by what you said. It doesn't need to be that scripted. I don't even really need to say that. I just need to be aware that maybe that person will be different the next time, or maybe they won't. And if they're not, then maybe that's not a person I need to have in my life. And it's the choice lies with me, right? You know, in those moments when somebody says something rude to me in public, I try not to snap back, because that lingers with me. I don't want to be that person. I don't want the emotional roller coaster that goes along with that feeling that goes along with it, you know, and letting it go. For me, in all honesty, it's easier when, and maybe this is just because of what I've gone through the last couple years, but it's easier for me to let go of what somebody says to me, like when I'm out in public, if somebody just like makes some snide comment to me or calls me some derogatory name or whatever. I think that's ignorant. I don't like it is what it is. Like, you know, that's easy for me to let that go. It's harder for me to let something go when somebody distorts the truth and lies, okay, and paints a picture that is absolutely incorrect about me. That's hard. And it's also hard for me to let go of something really when it's somebody that I care about. When it's somebody that I care about that says something to me. And the reality is, in the last few years, I've really removed all those people from my life. You know, my mother taught me, don't value the opinion of those people you don't value to begin with. And if I don't value somebody's opinion, they shouldn't probably be in my life. They shouldn't be somebody that I'm listening to, that I'm spending time with. I don't waste my life and my time on spending it with people that don't mean a lot to me anymore, right? I just don't. And therefore, when I work through it, now I'm going to tell you right now, there are days that I could get so fixated on some stuff, right? There are some days that I am so focused on the negative and so focused on what somebody has said about me to the point of being unhealthy, right? How do you let it go? You start your day over. And I'm not always great at this. There are days that I will choose to stay in it, and it will just affect me and everybody I talk to and everybody around me, right? But most of those people I don't even know. I don't know some random stranger on the street that just says something to me as I walk by. Why am I going to let them rent space in my head for free? That's another one of my tools that I use. Don't let people rent space in your head for free, you know? Why am I going to let somebody and their opinion of me change what I already know is fact about myself, you know? Period, end of story. I don't need to explain that to anybody. I don't know that to anybody. I don't need to explain it to anybody. And nobody, neither do you. What you owe yourself is to give yourself the freedom to let it go, right? But I also think it's about digging deeper and looking at that. Is what they specifically said to you, why is that word, like, hard for you to hear? Does it set off something for you? Like, what does it do for you? Is it because other people lied on you? The one reason why I cannot stand when people lie on me is because people, and when I was growing up, would say things that were not true about me. They would create stories that were not true. You know, my biggest bully when I was growing up in high school, he would say things like, well, Peter came over to my house and tried to hit on me, when there was absolutely not any truth to that at all. So to this day, like, I am really bothered by the fact when people, you know, like, lie on my name and things like that, you know? It really bothers me. And so, but, you know, what I have to realize is I'm not in that. That's not about me. I'm not in that, you know? That's about them. That speaks volumes to who they are as people. It speaks volumes to somebody that they would say something nasty to you that you don't even know out in public. I am not going to waste my life, okay? You know, it's like, what's the saying? Like, these animals don't worry. Somebody knows what I'm talking about, but like, lions don't worry about sheep or something like that. I'm not spending my time worried about somebody that I'm probably never going to meet in my life or never see again because they made some comment to me in public or whatever. I'm not wasting my life on that. I'm just not, you know? And today, I'm there. Tomorrow, I might not be, you know? It just depends on the day. But, like, I have this toolbox. And I have, even in my phone, I have these things written down. Like, don't let people rent space in your head for free, you know? What other people think about you is none of your business. I don't know anybody any explanations about my life, you know? Don't let the negative win, you know? What do you want the last 5 minutes of your life to look like? And where are my feet? That's another thing I learned, you know, it was from a friend of mine that would say, where are your feet? And her sponsor used to tell her that, you know, look down, my feet are in today. My feet are right below me. I'm in today. I'm not in tomorrow. I'm not in when I see this person again, whatever. I'm in today. And today, I want to be happy. Today, I want to live the best life that I possibly can. I don't want to just hand over minutes of my life. I say this in a lot of my videos. Who we watch, who we talk about, who we talk to, who we call on the phone, what we do, who we spend our time with, to eat dinner with, and whatever. We're just giving moments of our life, you know? The day is broken down into 24 hours. Every hour has 60 minutes in it. Those minutes that you're consumed with all that, you're literally handing over your life to that person that passed you by on the street and made a rude comment to you. Don't give your life away. It's not worth it. It just is absolutely not worth it. There's too much happiness and joy to be found out there in the world. There's too many TV shows to watch, books to read, people to laugh with, cups of coffee to drink, lemonade to drink, you know, grass to walk in, you know, animals to spend time with, naps to take. There's too much joy in the world to focus on somebody that's going to make a rude comment to you as you walk by. It's not worth it. And so maybe you taking that 5 minutes and working through those things, keeping a list somewhere that will remind you of those things, maybe that 5 minutes is worth it. And it won't come easily the first time. It won't come easily the 5th time. It won't come easily the 6th time or the 100th. Maybe not even the 1,000th. But eventually, it'll start happening to you. It doesn't happen to me. Like, it's not just like I go, oh, let it go. And it happens to me today. I still have to work through it. I still have to do the work to get through it, right? And I probably always will. And that's okay. Because years ago, I would have stayed stuck in it and just, somebody said something to me on the street and I would have been mad about it 8 hours later. Today, I don't let it bother me that long. I go on and I live my life. I got a great life today. I'm not handing that away to somebody else, especially somebody that I don't even know, right? That really, on the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean anything to me and I probably will never see again. You know, and neither should you. So anyway, thank you for the comment. I think it was a great comment. I think it's really hard sometimes to let things go, but I think for me, I also have to that's when I would pick up the phone and call my sponsor and say, I just can't let this go. This is bothering me, right? And why is it bothering you? Well, this is why it's bothering you. Look at the deeper issue. And then my sponsor would say to me, I mean, is this really worth it to you to like trade a day of your life? Well, no. When you look at it that way, it absolutely is 100% not. When there are children in children's hospitals fighting for every minute that they have, no, I don't think focusing my attention on somebody out there that made a mean comment towards me or doesn't like me and just made some rude comment to me on the street, I don't think it's worth that minute of my life to give it to them at all. Period. End of story. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.